Purchase your tracks. Purchase your tracks today. Today.
What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James here. Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James. Make sure you can hear me. My internet was acting up today, and I'm pissed because I'm not that computer savvy dude. I ain't that electronic man. Let me know you can make sure you can hear me because I ain't that electronic dude. I ain't the electronic man. So make sure you let know that you can hear me right now. All these little techie people, all these new generational guys, they know how to do all that stuff, but sometimes I get confused and it be pissing me the hell off. So a little frustrated, but that's okay. It's okay. I'll be okay. Just let me know you can hear me. All right, bet. So how's everybody doing before we jump in and talk about these daggone running backs right quick? I want to know how everybody's doing today on this lovely Saturday. Tell me how y'all doing. Let me give shout-outs to you guys. Who's up in this feed? Cowboys fan 1973, Marvin Hargrove Sr., Andrew Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson. I ain't calling you Miss Jackson. I'm just saying. Who else we got here? Angel Rodriguez. What's up with you? Checking in. Mr. Fiesta. What's up with you? Young Wilson. Aloha, of course, as always. I appreciate you like no other. Tell me how y'all's day is going. How y'all been today? How's everything been going with you before we jump into this? I want to know about you guys before I talk. What up, boo thing? Love you. Juwan James, what up, my dog? We about to talk about these daggone running backs. Ain't a lot of them, only a couple. I ain't talking about no Jamez, Alloway, whatever your head name is. I'm going to just call you J.O. We ain't talking about no Chun because he don't ever play. There's only two guys we're going to talk about right now, and we know that they need to be utilized the proper way for Dallas to really do what they want to do. And I believe Mike McCarthy will. I'm going to show a little couple instances that I've seen where he does do the dual running backs, and he does share. Now, obviously, we know Ezekiel Elliott is the man. All right, Ezekiel Elliott is the man because he's paid like the man. He's the highest paid running back in the league, and we're going to talk about that as well. I'm going to ask you guys, do you think that's a good contract or bad contract? Don't you answer that right now. I said I'm going to ask you later. But Ezekiel Elliott's the man, so he's going to get the ball. But there's some trends that I've been seeing since Ezekiel Elliott has been in the league. Some trends that I've been seeing. Not saying he's going on the downside because he's only 24 years old, but just some trends I'm seeing, and I'm just kind of peculiar about it. But they got to find a ways to incorporate Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott together, whether it's dual in the running back game, Tony Pollard more in the passing game. Ezekiel Elliott in the passing game, although he did have 52 catches, but I'd like to see more than damn screen passes with Ezekiel Elliott. Hey, ho, Marvin Hargrove with the $3 holla. Appreciate you. Donation. That's the Tourette syndrome. It'll just come out whenever. So if it comes out, as soon as it comes out of me, just go ahead and donate. Make it all better. But let's go to my dog Zeke. See what y'all saying in there. No, Henry doesn't deserve more. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep it all the way real. That's a running back, and if you pay a running back like 15, 16, I mean, Zeke is 15, and that's still, you paying Derrick Henry like $16 million? No, I'm not paying. He's 26 years old already. Titans, I understand what Derrick Henry did. I understand he's a dog and a monster. But just like when a DeMarco Murray's contract came up and Dallas was said, we're not going to pay you because you're 26 years old. You have a lot of mileage. And they said, he hasn't put a lot of mileage on the wheels. I don't care. You're a running back. And you ran a whole lot. And running backs can decline instantly. They don't fade. They instantly go down. When a running back goes down, they go down. I'm sorry. Derrick Henry is 26 years old. I'm not investing those $16 million in those 26 years old running back a year. I don't care what he did. I'm sorry. We're not going to do it. He can go somewhere else to do that. I love some Derrick Henry, but no way in hell I'm doing that. You can find other running backs that you can make that, you can do that with. And it's just the way it is, and that's why people are like, why did they pay Ezekiel Elliott that money? Because he's a running back. The thing to help Ezekiel Elliott that he's younger and that he's never been injured. But I'm sorry, Derrick Henry at 26, I'm not paying him top dollar money. He can decline within a year or two, and then what? Then you stuck with that big contract like you are with Todd Gurley, and you seeing what they're doing with your boy David Johnson with Arizona. They're ready to get rid of them contracts already. They have a few injuries. They're ready to get rid of you. Derrick Henry gets hurt one time, then what? Then you're on the hook for all that bread. No, I don't think so. I'm cool on that. I can find another running back in the draft. Maybe not on his level, but we can make it happen. And that's why people are talking about you shouldn't pay running backs that money, because you can find really good running backs and still make it. I believe the last time a Super Bowl team won, a team that won the Super Bowl with the all-pro running back, I believe, you can quote me. I'll go ahead and throw myself out there, but I believe it's Marshall Faulk was the last all-pro running back to win a Super Bowl. So you can win Super Bowls without a dog running back. It's been proven. Kansas City just won a Super Bowl, and they didn't have no running back. Just saying. Yeah, it's going to be more efficient, but we'll see. Let's jump right into Ezekiel Elliott right quick. Let's go on him, and then we're going to show some quick highlights of Ezekiel Elliott, showing what he does. Okay, there we go. All right, so you see Ezekiel Elliott, right? This was Ezekiel Elliott's season stats this season. 301 attempts for 1,357 yards, 4.5 average, not bad. 12 touchdowns, 10 rushing, I believe, 10 rushing, 2 receiving. 84.8 yards a game. That's concerning. We're going to talk about that. 54 receptions for 420 yards. 18 attempts a game. We're also going to talk about that. 670 yards after those are the Yaks. 3 fumbles. Played 84% of the snaps, one of his lowest. And he's a career. In his 4-year career, he's averaging 96.4 yards a game. But I got some other stats that are a little bit concerning to me about Ezekiel Elliott. So, looking at Ezekiel Elliott, he's 24 years old, right? Here's some things that kind of just stuck out to me about Ezekiel Elliott while we're talking about Zeke. Let me get something right quick. So, Ezekiel Elliott was drafted in 2016, right? First year, 108.7 yards a game, 5.1 average. The next year, 98.3, 4.1 average. We understand he only played 10 games. We understand the suspension in 2017. We rocky road. We understand that. 95 first downs his first year in the league. 95 first downs. Played 15 games. Next year, 98.3 yards a game. 4.1 average. 57 first downs. Played 10 games. 2018, 95.6 yards a game. 4.7 average. 84 first downs. 15 games. This year, after getting the big contract, getting $15 million a year, I don't understand if they were trying to pass too much or what were they trying to figure out. Let's make Dak the man. Let's throw the ball everywhere so we can make sure that he is the guy. But when I look across the board at the stats, 84.8, that's a big drop from 95.6 to 84.8, and you just became the leading highest paid running back in the league, and you went from 108.7, 98.3, 95.6, and 84.8. That's a big drop. Every single year he's dropping in yards per game. And you had 4.5 yards per carry, the lowest output since his 2017 year, and once again, that was when you were suspended, so we understand about that. Also, his lowest yards, per attempt. He averaged only 18 attempts per game rushing. His lowest also in his career. So you got 84.8 lowest rushing total in his career per game. 4.5 second lowest in his career. 18 attempts a game, his lowest in his career. 1,357 yards, his second lowest total, besides the 2017 year when he was suspended. 78 first downs. His longest rush was 33 yards. And also, just last year, 2018, Ezekiel Elliott had 839 rushing yards before contact. 2019, he had 678. Why are you saying all this, big game? Why are you saying all this? I'm just saying because you just paid this man, and this is not no hate on Zeke. I'm saying Zeke is a dog and a beast, but you just paid Ezekiel Elliott all this money, right? If you just paid him all this money, why wouldn't you make him a workhorse on the team? You went from paying him to being a top paid. He got his money. He held out, which I said he was going to do. I wrote an article and actually said that Ezekiel Elliott was going to do this. I wrote an article before the season was coming up last year, and I said, could this be the end of Ezekiel Elliott? Boy, I got so much hate mail and hate. Everybody was hating on me so bad. What are you talking about, Ezekiel Elliott? He ain't never leaving Dallas. He's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. I said, yeah, I'm not saying he don't deserve it by his numbers, but is it smart to pay a running back that money when you see, and I brought the stats out about all-pro running backs don't really win Super Bowls. And it was just the facts, and I went through them, okay? And you can't get mad at me for that. You get what I'm saying? So I was just breaking down the numbers, and I was saying, could he hold out? Because he's going to want to get paid, and he's going to want to be the highest paid. If Todd Gurley was getting that money, he's going to look at him and say, I'm beating you in every category, Todd Gurley, and I want to get my money. And we know Dallas Cowboys are notorious for not wanting to pay their money or definitely pay their stars. They want a penny pinch, right? So Ezekiel Elliott was smart. He was very smart because he knew that if he went and played this whole past year without holding out, that's one more whole year of mileage on my body. Okay? Now when we get to my option year, Dallas is going to start playing games. And they're going to say, well, you didn't run all the ball the way you did last time. So you know what? We're going to undercut you. We're not going to pay you that money. They were going to wait till he tried to get to that option year so they could undercut him with the pay. And that's why he held his ass out, because he had 2 years left on that before he even had the option year to do anything. But he did it early because he knows he's a running back. He knows the Dallas Cowboys were going to play him and let him run all this past year and then go to that option year and run some more. And then the Cowboys will come and say, oh, well, hell, you 25, 26 years old. Nah, we ain't going to pay you that big money. We're going to go ahead and get rid of you, or we're going to undercut you and pay you a smaller contract. That's why he did it. So he was smart on his end to do what he did because he realized he's a running back and they're going to play you. They're going to play you as a running back. That's why I don't see Derrick Henry or even Christian McCaffrey. You're a beast, but Christian McCaffrey is a monster, rushing and receiving. 1,000 yards, only the third running back to do that. But is Christian McCaffrey a big dude? No. They one play away from career being over. You investing all that money in them, that's why people don't pay running backs. You get what I'm saying? That's why they don't. You feel what I'm saying? That's just the way it is, because a running back declines quickly, and they getting hit every damn play. A receiver ain't getting hit every play. A quarterback ain't getting hit every play. You know what I'm saying? Offensive linemen, they should get some money too, because they getting hit every play, and running backs is running behind them and running up, tearing up their knees. You get what I'm saying? But the running backs are getting hit damn near every play. All right? So that's why they don't want to be paying all that money, because you running 300 carries a year, 320, 330 carries a year. Your body is going to break down. I don't care how superhuman you think you are. Your body's going to break down. Now, we see the Frank Gores. We see the Adrian Petersons, but them is far and few. We see a lot more running backs flaming out and ending their careers quickly than anybody else. So, I'm just saying, watch the trend. Watch the trend on Ezekiel Elliott. But, hey, let's show some highlights of Ezekiel Elliott. Why I love him. I do love Ezekiel. But it's just the way it is. I'm going to see what y'all got to say. We'll show a little bit of highlights of Zeke. What up, K Swagger 33? What up, Stevie Mac? Yeah, Zeke is still a dog. I'm not saying anything about him. But what I am saying is that you guys have to look at the trends, okay? You have to look at the trends. And from his rookie year to now, he went from 108.7 to 84.8. Can he bounce back? We'll see, because Mike McCarthy does like using dual running backs. But let me show you a couple games, and I know it's the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, they suck and all that good stuff. Yeah, I know all that. They suck. But at the end of the day, we still want to show why we love some Zeke. I mean, but Zeke is not that guy anymore as far as when Zeke first came in the league, okay? One of the reasons why we loved Ezekiel Elliott, and I'll ask you guys this, one of the reasons, why was one of the reasons you loved Ezekiel Elliott when he came into the draft? His explosiveness. You thought, and you saw, I watched Ohio State because I'm out here in Ohio, so I got a close-up view of Ezekiel Elliott. One of the things I really loved about Ezekiel Elliott was that his explosiveness. He could take it to the house at any time. Did you see all them long runs that he had at Ohio State? Taking it to the house, breaking through that line of scrimmage and taking it to the house. Now it just seems like Ezekiel Elliott is not that guy anymore, and that's where the Tony Pollard comes in. That's why you have to use the Tony Pollard. I'm not saying Ezekiel Elliott is not dope. It's still hitting that initial, getting the ball, and having that burst. It looked like he didn't have it, maybe, because it was in Cabo, wasn't getting the pure football training. So I don't think that he had his feet up under him, because football training and regular training are two different trainings, okay? But I just feel like Zeke is not that explosive guy anymore that's going to take a 60-yarder to the house any longer. He was doing that his rookie year and possibly even 2017, but to me now he's more of a power back. He's a guy that now is just going to wear you down. He's a guy now that you can give 20, 25 carries, 30 carries in a game, and he's going to wear you down and beat up that defense. Now Tony Pollard is the guy that Ezekiel Elliott, once he beats the defense down, now you bring a Tony Pollard in for explosiveness, or you play them together, flank them out, make it happen where both of them can work together, because when you see both of them playing together and they're playing a lot, you see how fruitful Dallas was. I'm going to show the Miami game, and I'm going to show the Rams game. Both of those games, they both had 100 yards rushing, and what a coincidence. Dallas dominated both of those games. You get what I'm saying? So, Ezekiel Elliott, to me, is just not that explosive running back. He is that guy that's just going to churn them yards. He's always flying forward, great balance, breaking tackles, strong up the middle. You love Ezekiel Elliott, and he can catch the ball out the backfield. He's slept on as far as a receiver, 52 catches, as I said before. But to me, he's just not that explosive guy, and I wonder how long he's going to last, because I'm going to bring up his contract here in a minute, and they have an out, and that's what the key is going to be for me. But let's show some things of why we love some Ezekiel Elliott. Well, at least I love him. No, I don't think he definitely is going to bulk up like that. Let's see here. Show some Ezekiel Elliott here. Tell me why you love him. He's just that, like I said, he's that back now that just really gets you kind of excited because he's a workhorse, as you can see right here. Workhorse back. Explosive through the line, breaking tackles. You know what he's going to do. He's going to wear down that defense. That's what Ezekiel Elliott does now, okay? And that's what you really love about Ezekiel Elliott. I wish that he still had that explosiveness. I think that's gone now. I just think, like I said, he's more of a power back, as you see him right here. See some more Ezekiel Elliott stat highlights right here. See some more Ezekiel Elliott. Like I said, when you see Ezekiel Elliott now, you know he used to hit them corners before and just be gone. As you can see right here, he fights for them yards. He's more of that power back now. He's more of that explosive type back. He's that back that when you see now, it's like, okay, power. Not that explosiveness that you used to see from him any longer. I don't see that from him. I don't think Ezekiel Elliott is that guy any longer. I think he's that guy that you workhorse him in the middle. You use those type of plays where you're doing counters, you're doing draws, you're doing off tackles. That's what you're running with Ezekiel Elliott now. He's that guy that, like I said, he's churning out them yards. He's going to churn out them yards. But now he's not that dude any longer that's just going to break a 20, 30, 40-yarder just out the whim. He's not going to do that. And so that's why I say I wonder, like, when he's done, there's an out for Ezekiel Elliott right now, okay? His contract has an out. He signed a 6-year, $90 million deal, $50 million guaranteed, making $15 million a year, right? So, that being said, sorry about that. He has a potential out in 2023. They have 4 years, $50 million left on that contract, and he has a potential out. If they cut him or they move on from Ezekiel Elliott at 27, he'll be 27 years old, 2023. It'll be a $15 million cap hit, $6.7 million in dead cap money. So that's what they're going to be looking at. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be looking at these next 3 years on Ezekiel Elliott to see if he's trending down at any time, because that out is in 2023. And I believe if they see any kind of decline in Ezekiel Elliott, I believe they will exercise that and move on, just like they did DeMarco Murray. Everybody, we all love Zeke, but these are running back, and we know running backs, they die quickly. And I'm gonna tell you right now, as much as we love Zeke, if he has any continued downward trend, because the numbers are saying downward trend. No matter what we say, the numbers are saying the downward trend. Not saying he's not a beast still, but you have to look at these numbers, and you best believe the Cowboys are. If they see any kind of continued downward trend in these next 3 years, Ezekiel Elliott, this could be his last big contract with Dallas Cowboys. Let's be honest, because as I said before, NFL teams, Super Bowl teams have won without all-pro or top running backs. It's been proven. That's just the way it is. And I'm going to ask you guys right now in the feed, do you think this is a good contract for Ezekiel Elliott? Was this a good contract for the Dallas Cowboys to sign Ezekiel Elliott first for all that money before a Dak Prescott? I'm going to ask y'all that. Was it smart for the Cowboys to sign Ezekiel Elliott first before Dak Prescott? And do you think this is a good contract that Ezekiel Elliott signed? I'm going to ask y'all that right now before we talk about some Tony Pollard. Yeah, I was at that Dolphins game too. They both ran well. It was a great game. Derek Kled, Miss Scouting Pro says nope. Derek Clegg says nope. T. Landry says nope. Andrew Rodriguez says yes, I think Zeke is more than a running back. He's a blue chip talent. Miss Scotting Pro says, to me, Zeke can't be trusted, and I definitely agree with that. He's one strike away from, he could be out the league. Ezekiel Elliott does any one dumb thing, he's out the league. Now, I think he might be a little bit smarter because he got that money, so maybe he doesn't want to lose his money. But, I think it was a situation where, not saying that Zeke, I just feel like Zeke is carefree, and he didn't seem like he had the right people in his camp. I don't know if would say I could even trust him right now, but I think he's a little smarter maybe with getting that money. But paying him that kind of money, that just, to me, I was on the fence with it. One part of me is like, yes, get that money because you're an NFL player. That's what you're supposed to do. But on the business side of it, no, I don't think it was the smartest, especially paying it before your quarterback. And he's a running back. Those guys depreciate quickly, and everybody's saying, oh, well, Zeke ain't never been hurt. But that's true, but he can get hurt, and then what? You get what I'm saying? And it's like I said, it's been proven time and time again that you don't need a top-tier running back to get to a Super Bowl. You can have good pieces and multifaceted players to still get through it. Mike McCarthy, where I have the confidence that he is going to use a two-back system, when I go back at his time in Green Bay, I seen him do a lot of two-backs. Ryan Grant, James Starks. They had one season where both of them, Ryan Grant was 27 years old, James Starks was 25. Ryan Grant ran for 559 yards. I understand he's not Ezekiel Elliott. James Starks ran for 578 yards. Eddie Lacy and also James Starks. They shared the backfield. Eddie Lacy, and I believe it was Eddie Lacy's second year. First year, I believe it was first year. Ran for 758 yards, and James Starks ran for over 600. So you can see that Mike McCarthy, he's had Amon Green, and he had it with Ryan Grant. He has given carries to two backs. So that's why I have confidence that a Tony Pollard is going to see a lot of work in action this season, because Mike McCarthy has shown that he has done that prior and he has done that before. So that gives you hope that him working with Kellen Moore, that you are going to see a lot more of this going on in the future. I'm just interested to see how they're going to do this offense like this year, because the year before it was like feed team Zeke. You feel me? 2018. Let's run the offense through Zeke. Then this past year it seemed like it was let's prove something with Dak. Let's make sure that Dak is our guy. So let's throw the ball everywhere. I'm going to be interested to see how they work this offense this year with Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy. Like I said, the history has shown that McCarthy does use a two-back system. He does have two backs, and he doesn't have a problem using two backs. We also seen that Kellen Moore does get a little pass happy as well as Mike McCarthy. So it's going to be interesting to see how Ezekiel Elliott is used and if his numbers continue to go down, because as I said before, this past year, career low in yards per game, okay? Career low is in attempts per game, and the second worst career as far as average a game. So just like I said, it's a trend that you have to continue to watch, because every single year his numbers have gotten worse. This call on Tyrone. What's up with your big dog? Donation, donation, donation. That's just the Tourette's. Remember, I don't trip off that. That's Tourette's. Don't bug off that. But let's go to our other guy before we get up off here, because there ain't really a lot to talk about when you talk about our running backs. They're already settled. But let's talk about TP. Get a witness, man. Tony Pollard. This is the guy that we all been wanting to see get more carries. It's funny, man. I posted Tony Pollard on my page today, and I showed some good stats from him. I'm gonna pull those up right quick. PFF stats. Yeah, I'm not a PFF guy, but I do like some of the stuff they do say. But One of the things about PFF, they were saying he was one of the most elusive tackles, breaking tackles. But here's his stats. And this is only, think about these stats. 86 attempts, right? 455 yards, 5.7 average. Almost 6 yards a carry. 15 catches. You need to use him more in that passing game because he played receiver at the University of Memphis for 107 yards, 309 yards, a yak. But look at that. Only played 18% of the snaps. So you had 86 attempts for 455 yards, almost 6 yards a carry, and you only played 18% of the snaps. 18%, man. So just think, if he gets some more work, you got something there. And so that goes back again. Not hating on Zeke for getting his money, but that goes back again. You drafted Tony Pollard, and if you had another good back, you don't think that could work with a two-back system where a guy you don't have to pay Ezekiel Elliott $15 million a year? No hating on Zeke, but it's just reality. You drafted Tony Pollard, and you had another good back in that stable. You know, your quarterback's doing his thing. You got good receivers. It can work. So that's why people say, I don't know if you want to pay that running back. And that's why I think it's going to be hard for a Derrick Henry or even a Christian McCaffrey to get this money because you guys have did all that. Derrick Henry, yes, they balled out, but they had to make plays in that passing game too. And whenever they shut down that run, they had to make plays in that passing game. And Tannehill had to make plays in that passing game, and sometimes he didn't. And guess what? You go home. Christian McCaffrey, over 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yard receiving. But guess what? What did that do for him? They didn't go nowhere. That's what I'm saying. You can get multi-dimensional backs in the NFL in the draft every single year that you can cement from having a top guy that you have to pay all that money. I mean, it's just reality. And if you had another back with a Tony Pollard, you could still get away with it. Let's look at some Tony Pollard highlights. Why he gets you excited. Why Tony Pollard gets you excited, man. I'm going to show a little bit of that Rams game because that explosiveness and a little bit of this Miami game because that's where he went off. You feel me? Let's see here. Tony Pollard. I want to see that big run that he had. Let me pull that up right quick. What's your thoughts on Tony Pollard while I'm pulling this up? What are your thoughts? What up to you? What are your thoughts on Tony Pollard? I've seen a lot of people talking, but give me your thoughts on Tony Pollard while I pull up some highlights so we can see how good he is when he gets his hand on the ball. He's electric, and how much he makes his team better when he gets his hands on the ball, man. I ain't talking about no Jamez. I do not care about him. But as you see, Tony Pollard doing some more work right here. You see the elusiveness. You see what this kid brings to the table. Okay? You see what this kid brings to the table. The elusiveness, the speed, the balance. He has power too. You get what I mean? But look how this man gets through that crease. Boom. Look at them feet. Cutting through that hole. Making himself skinny. Making himself small. Getting through that hole. Breaking through. And then he has that escapability right after that to take it right to the house. That's what he does, man. That's what gets you excited about this kid. The kid is the real deal. You feel me? Like, this kid is the real deal. And Dallas has to figure out a way to make it happen with him. He's got to get the ball more, and I think they will. I think McCarthy has an understanding that this kid is electric. I like to see him on more maybe kickoffs. Definitely probably not punt returns, but kickoffs. This man has got to get the ball. I mean, you've seen when the Cowboys, like I said, when they had both of those guys rushing for 100 yards, you've seen Cowboys demolished the Dolphins 31-6. They played the Rams, dropped 44 points on them. Why? Because you had that electric person in a Tony Pollard, man. The dude is the real deal, and you got to be able to get him the ball to make this team so much better. Like, that's just the truth. And I'm going to show you some more plays that just, when you see how he is, it's just like, damn, man, this kid is good, man. You got to play this kid. Some more Tony Pollard up in here. Art Lugo says we wish we wouldn't have signed Zeke. So let's see some more Tony Pollard. It's another play that gets you excited about TP. That balance. Y'all remember this play? That play was just, this is where you was just like, this is why you love this dude, man. This dude, this is why you love him. That right there. Let's watch it again. That right there is what you just, that balance. One of the things that I really loved about TP was when he was at the University of Memphis, when he was returning those kicks. There was a couple times that people hit him, but he still had that amazing balance where he was still keeping his balance and was not falling down. You can see that right here off this play with the Rams. And when we watch it from the backside, man, Dallas has to figure a way to make that happen with both of them. I know Ezekiel Elliott's getting all that bread and all that money, but if you want to save him and have him on a longer-term deal where he's going to be good and you can use him later as far as Ezekiel Elliott, as far as his years on his career, this is where when you drafted the Tony Pollard, this is where you're saving years on Ezekiel Elliott's career. That's where you're saving years on Ezekiel Elliott's career when you're using a Tony Pollard, because now he's not having to get all those carries. Now, that's where you're saying, well, why did you pay him all that money? You just drafted Tony Pollard. You didn't have to do all that. That's where that kind of comes in, where you didn't have to pay Zeke that money, because now you got two backs, man. Two backs are better than one in the league right now. It's not a one-back league any longer. It's a two-back league. You get what I'm saying? Usually you don't see the one back anymore. You see two. You know why? Because you need two backs in this league now. It's just what it is. You need that change of pace. Oh, let's show this touchdown right here, too. That touchdown was nice on here. You taking credit for that, Stevie Mack? Look at this play right here, though. I'm going to keep it real. I predicted the Cowboys were going to draft Tony Pollard, though. When we did our mock drafts, I predicted that the Cowboys, it was going to be between Tony Pollard and it was going to be Mike Weber. Those are the two running backs. In my mock draft, before they were drafted, I said, those are the two running backs that the Cowboys were going to look at. I went with Mike Weber because I didn't know too much about Tony Pollard. As you see the explosiveness right here, I didn't know too much about Tony Pollard. But when I watched his first highlight, I said, oh, yeah, I love this dude. Dallas needs to get him. I just had heard about him because Bobby Belt had mentioned him And at one of the pre-draft visits, as you can see him, how he gets skinny, and then that get go. And even when he ran at the combine or his pro day, he only ran like a 4.5, so he wasn't doing like 4.4s or 4.3s. But he just something about him. He has that elusiveness in the game that just really makes that kid really good. But like I said, when that mock draft, when we were doing drafts and the NFL draft was coming around, he was one of the guys I was targeting, because I said, if you can get him in the backfield with Ezekiel Elliott, how much more better is he going to make the Dallas Cowboys? For real. But I give that to you, Stevie Mack. You can have all that. You can take all that, big dog. You can take all that. But my thing, when you see both of these guys run the ball, you see the explosiveness of Tony Pollard. You see the receiving skills of Tony Pollard. You see Ezekiel Elliott can catch the ball out the backfield. I just really hope that the Cowboys will utilize that two-back system. I know they got Jameis, but like I said, that was a waste of picking him up, in my opinion. They shouldn't have went that route. They should have kept a Keith Smith. You paid him more money than you paid Keith Smith, and Keith Smith did everything that Jameis did. But at the end of the day, they need to find a way, two-back system, put Tony Pollard in some receiving sets. They need to be able to get him the ball, because we know how much of a dog Ezekiel Elliott is. But honestly, when Tony Pollard is on that field with Ezekiel Elliott, the team is much better. It just is, because now you can't get a beat on the offense. Now you have to respect. Now, you see Ezekiel Elliott, you're going to key on him, but you get a Tony Pollard in the game, oh, okay, I don't think they utilized that enough. How many games, and I can pull that up, where we seen Tony Pollard, I saw he only played 18% of the snaps, right? He only played 18% of the snaps. So there, how many games I can show you right now where it's just atrocious, when you're sitting there thinking, how come Tony Pollard is not playing in this game? How many games do we see? I'm going to show right now, I'm going to pull up in my head right now, that we seen Tony Pollard in big games. Tony Pollard didn't get the ball at all. That's what's got to change this season. He cannot go back to what happened last year. This damn game log will pull up. So, in our big games that we needed him to utilize him, to me, one of the most, you got Green Bay, 4 touches for 19 yards, 4 rushing attempts for 19 yards. Really? Philadelphia, 8 attempts, 28 yards. Minnesota, 1 attempt, 4 yards. New England, 4 attempts, 19 yards. Buffalo, 3 attempts, 7 yards. We've seen with the Rams, 12 attempts, 131 yards. And I believe every time he got over at least 10 or 11 carries somehow, Cowboys were undefeated. The Washington game, I ain't gonna really count that, because that was a who care game. 14 carries for 60 yards, still averaged 4 yards a carry. But you get what I'm saying. And even in the I think he was a little bit banged up in that last Philly game, but 2 attempts for 0 yards. Every time there was a big game that the Cowboys could have utilized his speed and his escapability, his versatility, he never got any attempts. He never got any carries. That has to change this year, and I think Mike McCarthy, with the veteran staff that they have, and I just think that Mike McCarthy is cut from a different breed than Jason Garrett, and I feel like he's just a little bit more in tune with that, and I feel like you're going to see a lot more Tony Pollard. I hope it will, but I think you will. So I'm going to say excited about that. Ezekiel Elliott, we're just going to see these next 3 years. We're going to see what happens, because, as I said before, the Cowboys are going to be looking at it, see if he has any continued downward trend, and that out in 2023, that could be his last contract. It really could. He'll be 27 years old. He would have played 7 straight years in the league. That's a lot of wear and tear on a running back, and those guys really don't get a lot of big contracts after that because of the wear and tear. So it's going to be real interesting to see these next 3 years with Ezekiel Elliott and the running game with Tony Pollard. Will he get an extension with the Dallas Cowboys? Will they look for him to be the running back of the future for Ezekiel Elliott? There's going to be a lot of questions, and it's going to be interesting these next few years. So we'll definitely stay in tune. But I definitely think this is a season where you have to incorporate Tony Pollard. He has to play more than 18% of the snaps this season if the Cowboys want to go where they want to go on this offense. He makes the offense much more explosive. And as I said before, you don't have to have him in the backfield all the time. He played receiver at Memphis and was pretty good. Use him in that slot, move him around, get him the ball. But I feel like the more times you can get him touches, the better it makes the Cowboys at the whole and in the end. I'm going to see what you guys got to say. Either that or the Cowboys' offense is stupid. I feel you. I feel like the front office did that on purpose to get rid of Grant. The U says, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know about that. Michael Haskell says Pollard did have a couple fumbles in a crucial situation. My memory serves me right. Actually, he only had one fumble on the year, and yes, it was on a critical play. But if we're going to sit there and remember that, Ezekiel Elliott had 3 fumbles this past season, and he had a critical fumble. Remember, in that Saints game, Cowboys were moving the ball, and he had a big fumble right before halftime. Let's talk about that. You get what I'm saying? Ezekiel Elliott is averaging about 4 fumbles in his career. He had 5 his first year, 6 his second year. I believe 6. I believe his second year. 1 last year, and then he had 3 this past season. So he only had 1 fumble out of all the carries. He had 86 carries, 1 fumble. Okay, and yeah, it was a messed up play. But we're gonna really point the finger at him on that one. I'm not gonna do that. I hear you, Eastside Harold. I hear you, Andrew Jackson. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the running back. That's why I said it's going to be interesting to see how this running back thing goes. I think that's why they did that potential out on 2023 to see where Ezekiel Elliott's at because, like I said, he'll be 27 years old by then, and I don't know if he gets a second contract with the Cowboys after that. That's a iffy to me, and I think that's going to be up in the air. We're going to have to see about that. But going forward, I do like the backfield. There's not too many backfields where you have an Ezekiel Elliott and a Tony Pollard back there. So I'm definitely excited about going forward in the future for the team because you have 2 dynamic running backs, and 2 dynamic running backs is always better than 1. So we'll see what happens in the future with this backfield. But I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. There ain't really a lot to talk about with these running backs. But I do want to tell you before we get off here, make sure you check out. We did a roundtable yesterday with me, Boss Cowboy, and Vash Lombardi. It was really good, real informational. Appreciate Vash Lombardi for the lookout on that. Also, we have a great interview coming. Me and Skywalker Still actually got the interview with Mr. George Ioka. Former safety, he battled it out. I had high hopes for him. I thought I was rooting for him to make it at safety over Jeff Heath, but he, didn't happen. It didn't work out like that. He's got a really nice podcast that he's got going down, but we have that interview going down this Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mr. George Ioka, former safety for the Cincinnati Bengals, played the year with the Minnesota Vikings, and then had that little bit of time with the Dallas Cowboys. So we got that lined up, and it's going to be a really good interview. We're going to ask some real good questions and get the truth because he just left out the NFL, and we're going to be asking questions. Is he going to go back in the NFL? What's going on with the CBA? What do the players go through with the CBA because he's been through it? And just, his thoughts on the Cowboys, why his little short time that he was there, what did he think about the Cowboys organization and the players? So it's going to be a fire interview. You know how we do. You know how we get down. We bring in the heat and the pain. Please make sure your notifications are up that day, Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know people got to work on all that good stuff and make sure them notifications up and popping. Please, if you're able to really open the door for donations that day, we really want to have that popping because we are moving to a different light. myself, Skywalker Still, some other guys. Like I said, we're trying to build this huge network, and we really need your guys' support. So we really need you guys to really like our pages, subscribe, because we're doing a communicative thing so we can take this and push our network. But the more subscribers we have, the better it looks for us to go and, do meet potential sponsors. People are going to invest in you. They want to see numbers. You feel what I'm saying? And if you love this quality of work that we do, and if you love this grind that we do, we really need y'all to donate, subscribe, be a Patreon, all that, because all that ties into us wanting to build this nice independent network that we have this idea for. But once again, we cannot do it without the support of you guys. So please continue support as much as you can, because the more you support, the more it pushes this and makes this a quicker thing for our independent network to launch, because we are all on the grind behind the scenes. Really got some things. I'm trying to tell y'all, once we get this thing the way we want, y'all gonna love it. It's gonna be run just like that NFL Network, that ESPN stuff that you see. We got a vision, and the vision doesn't happen overnight, but this vision will see itself through. And the way this vision is going to see itself through is through you guys as well. Appreciate you, the youth. Thank you very much. So with that being said, short and sweet today. Talked about the running backs. We'll see what happens going forward with this lineup with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard with this new staff. I'm excited and interested to see what's going to go down. But make sure you tune in. We talked about the defense, every position, defensive line, linebackers, corners, safeties. We hit the receivers. We just hit running backs. And so now we got 2 positions left. Then I'm going to talk about the offensive line. I ain't no offensive lineman, but we can still talk about it and show some tape. And then we're going to talk about, last but not least, the great Dak Prescott. That'll be an interesting show, to say the least. And I'm going to show plenty of tape. I'm going to show good and bad. So it's not going to be no biased tape where we're just showing, great, Dak Prescott's great throws and everything. No, we're going to show his bad throws, because he missed. He missed on plenty of people, and I'm going to talk about that too. I love Dak Prescott, but he has his flaws that he's going to have to get together. And working with Mike McCarthy, I believe he's going to help him. But we're going to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly from Dak Prescott, and it is what it is. So make sure you tune in for that show. That's going to be a real good one. We got 2 positions left, offensive line and quarterbacks, and that's going to be a doozy. But get out there and continue to support. You see that Patreon running across the screen? You can do it. Like I said, I just got 2 more proud Patrons from DC4L. Shout outs to you guys for our great show that we did with DC4 Download. It was a great show. Hopefully many more. But they are already contributing to the Patreon to make this thing great. And if you're in the feed, if you're in the feed, you need to talk in the feed. I love the conversation. If you're in the feed, you need to like. You need to share. You need to subscribe. Don't be in the feed and you're not subscribing and you like what's going on. Subscribe to that, man. Smash that button. Smash that like button. Get out there and subscribe. And if you like it, get out there and donate. You got cable out there. You're watching all these other shows out there with this and that. You're paying for that to watch for that. And if you like what they're saying, but you're saying, you know what? They ain't keeping it real like my guys over here. They ain't keeping it real like a Skywalker Still or a Vosh Lombardi or a Big Game James or a Law Nation or a Coy. They're not keeping it real like them. So I'm going to watch these guys. Well, if you're going to watch us, continue to support, okay? Because that makes this where we can really do a lot more things where you guys can love it even more. So that's just my 2 cents on it. Get out there and support. That's what we need from you guys. Thank you. Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Appreciate you. Silver and Blue Nation. Big Game James. I'm out. Oh, hey, you know what? Before y'all get off here, who y'all going for the fight? Who you going for this fight before I get off of here? Damn it. I only got 18 people listening. Who you going for the fight? I forgot all about that damn fight. I don't have it, but I got a homeboy that he hit me up and he said he got the little low, so I should be able to see it. But who you got for this fight? And what round? Is this going to be a knockout? Is this going to go the distance? I'm not a connoisseur of boxing like I used to be. I used to be a super connoisseur from boxing when I was a kid. I was in the Muhammad Ali, Frazier, George Foreman, Benitez, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Tommy the Hitman Hearns, Pernell Whitaker, just those guys. And then, once it got a little past that, I kind of just backed up from boxing. I just felt like it wasn't the greatest anymore. But what are y'all prediction on this fight? Juwan James says Wilder by KO and Fury the distance. Cephas Brown says Wilder decision. Tell me what y'all thinking out there. What y'all got for this? And while I'm asking you this, who won the first fight? Do you think Tyson Fury got robbed on that one? Do you think he really did beat Wilder and he got robbed on that one? I know Wilder knocked him down on that, I believe, the 12th round. That's really what saved his ass. But do you think Tyson won that first one? And can you continue to give me your answers while I am sitting here right now? Cephas Brown says Wilder in decision. KG, what's up with you, dog? Wilder in a KO. Mr. Fiesta, Fury in the distance. Stevie Mac 23, Miles Lane by KO. Juwan James says, give me Wilder by 8th round KO. Wilder got robbed the first fight. Tell me y'all thoughts. I don't know. And Fury got bigger. I think he's like 260 or 270. Wilder's like 230 something, but that's a lot of weight, dog. You got 40 pounds on this man. That's a big boy. That's a big dog. I'm going to go with Wilder just because I like Wilder. I don't really follow the heavyweights like that any longer, but I just like Wilder. I like when he beat up this one kid. Man, I don't know if y'all remember, there was a video back in the day about that one kid, and he was going around beating up people. They said he was a bully, and he was on YouTube just going around punching people and just want to box him, and then he stick him right quick. I remember when Wilder got him like about 6 years ago, because I guess he threatened that he was going to do something to his daughter or something like that, and he came to the gym and ran up on him. That was the funniest shit in the world, man. Like that, to this day, I'm still laughing because he kept on saying, "Get up! No, we ain't done. Get up!" And he kept on clutching down. That shit was funny. Like, that was a classic to me. Yes, at the gym, in the gym. Yes, that was hilarious. Like, dog, that had me rolling. Like, I'm like, dude kept on be like, nah, it's good. I'm good. He like, nah, get up. He like, I said get up. He like, get up. I said get up. Dude with get up was clutching down, beating up all these little dudes your size. But then when you got somebody bigger than you want to clutch up. You feel me? That jank was just funny as hell. That shit was funny. Still funny to this day. Well, y'all, hey, before I get off here, I'm going to start ending this with, we talk Cowboys in the end. I'm just going to freestyle the last 5 minutes. DeMarcus Cousins got released from the Lakers. What do you think about that? You think anybody pick him up? Think anybody pick up Boogie? Or is his career over? Because you had, 2 back-to-back torn Achilles? I think I don't always want to bring up the karma thing, but DeMarcus Cousins always want to fight somebody and always want to be the bully on the court instead of playing basketball, man. DeMarcus Cousins was just nasty when he was at Kentucky. And he was nasty when he was at Sacramento, just nasty. You feel me? But he always want to be a tough guy. Always want to scrap and fight people. That's why I wonder, like, maybe them injuries you got because you always want to be tough and them injuries just hit you. Now you ain't so. Now you got them 2 Achilles. Now does anybody want to pick you up? Cephas Brown says the Wizards. Yeah, I can see that. And Boogie ain't that old. I think Boogie's like 28, I think. So, I mean, we'll see. But I don't know if anybody picks. I don't know. I don't know where his career is headed now. 2 back-to-back Achilles. I don't know where it's headed. Yeah, it's looking bad to me. I think his career is over, dog. Oh, and what y'all think about this CBA? It says just talking about the CBA, just looking at the tags, it said revised franchise and transition tag deadlines have been agreed on by the NFL and the NFLPA. Says tags can now be applied February 27th through March 12th, which is 2 days later than the original plan. Absent of the new collective bargaining agreement, teams are still able to apply both. If the players vote the proposed CBA, which owners already have, it will revert back to the one tag. So we're going to see about this CBA, you know. We're going to see about this CBA. It's going to be very interesting. I have a close friend of mine who's with ESPN Kansas City. You know, and I don't want to throw his name out there, but he said that because the NFLPA was waiting until next week when they're up in Indy to kind of possibly vote on this, and he said that he thinks the players will vote on it and it will pass. You had J.J. Watt jumped out there and said that's a hard no. I posted a video from Pat McAfee basically saying that the NFL wins in the media because they say they put what they does. They say the NFL makes all the stuff out, and then they show all the good things that they're trying to do with the NFL and the players. And he says that's what killed the last CBA agreement was because the NFL put out all this stuff through all these media outlets to get the fans on their side and get them saying the players are greedy. And so right now they're already doing that, pushing out all the good things that they're doing, the marijuana thing, more pay for players on the roster as far as the lower ones, adding the game, but they still get more on a game check, but the stars don't get as much. I think that's why they're maybe frustrated. You can go from a 48 roster instead of a 46 game day roster to a 48. You can add another player on injured reserve that you can bring up, a third player. So they're showing a lot of the good things. So that can basically gets all the people who don't really study the CBA or the negotiations thinking if the players don't take it, it's all bad for the players. Like players are the bad guys. So that's what the NFL does, and they're already shooting it out there. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. And if they do agree with it, let's say as early as next week, if that happens, I don't think it does because usually when you see these two things happening with negotiations, there's always gets drawn out. But in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be done that quick. But if it is, boy, that's going to throw a monkey wrench with this Dak Prescott and this Amari Cooper thing. Byron Jones, I feel is gone. But if that happens, it's going to throw a monkey wrench in this signing, and it's going to be nothing but the Cowboys' fault because they slow-footed once again with these damn contracts, and they're going to pay the price if they end up signing this CBA, and now you're losing one of the tags, and you possibly lose Amari Cooper to free agency, and that's going to change everything as far as they draft. So going to be interesting, so we're going to see. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time. Thank you for jumping in the feed. We'll probably jump in here tomorrow. Got a game tomorrow. Also, make sure you check next week. I'll be in Indianapolis for the Combine. I'll be in Indianapolis on Saturday and Sunday for the NFL Combine. I'll be watching the defensive line, the linebackers, cornerbacks, and safeties Saturday and Sunday in Indianapolis. Going to have a great time. Going to give you as much coverage I can out there. I was supposed to get my credentials. That didn't happen because I didn't talk to my guy earlier than I thought I was going to. So I'm frustrated with that. Actually, I'm real pissed off about that. Because I really love to have those media credentials going up there. but the deadline had passed, and when we had talked, the deadline had passed for me to get my media credentials. So that frustrated me because I wanted to have some good-ass interviews with these guys. But you know what? You see that in the back right there? You see that in the background, that media pass in the background? I bet you I'll use that when I go up there. And if I got to sneak on that shit, I bet you I do to give me some sneaky interviews. I bet you I do. I'm going to be right up there. Hey, this is blah, blah, blah with blah, blah media. I bet you I do. And you still going to see me trying to get these popping. I bet you I'll roll up on them. And, hey, you never know. So keep your eyes and ears peeled. If you're watching that combine, don't watch. If you're not watching that combine or you don't get it, make sure you turn your notifications on Silver and Blue Nation on YouTube next weekend, because I'm going to try to get as much footage I can, drills, everything that I can show. Cameras are allowed in there, so I'm going to try to get as close as I can to the action so you can actually see those live drills, because they have 16 new drills. They got rid of some old drills. They got 16 new drills that they added at the combine this year, and I know that a lot of people are interested to see what's going to happen on the defensive front as far as the draft goes. And we got a lot of things. Safety is going to want to be addressed. Cornerback now is possibly going to be addressed. They possibly get a linebacker late with the health of LVE and the up in the air with Sean Lee, and also that defensive line where so many people are free agents, and we don't know what's going to happen with the free agency with Dallas if they're going to actually pluck somebody out of free agency. So this draft is going to be heavy, probably defense once again, and I'm going to get that footage so you guys can check it out and look for yourself, all of it. So make sure you tune in, and make sure you support, like, share, and donate. Help the cause, because, going to be there next week, and we're going to have a good time. So I'll talk to you guys later. Silver and Blue Nation, I'm out. Big Game James, peace.